Hi, Black Gypsy here. In today's Pick a Card reading, we're going to be talking about what are people afraid to tell you? What are people afraid to tell you? So, pile 1, we have this decorated lighter with patterns on it. And pile number 2, we have this watch necklace. Pile number 1, pile number 2. Choose your pile and the timestamps will be in the description box below. Click it and I will see you at your pile. Thank you. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose this lighter with these designs on it, let us see what are people afraid to tell you. Okay, pile number 1. Before we get into our reading, let us look at the oracle messages that we have for today. The oracle message is, I speak highly of myself. And the next oracle message says, the sacred waters, nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, and self-care. Now on to our tarot cards. The first card here we have is the Moon. The second card here is the Nine of Wands. And the last card here is the Knight of Discs, which equates to the Knight of Pentacles. So, what are people afraid to tell you? Pile number 1. With the Moon card, immediately, I think people are afraid to tell you that you are weird. Okay, now something I should have said in the intro of this video is there are going to be some messages that you might feel offended by, and this is not supposed to make you, the intention is not to make you feel offended, okay? If you can't handle these messages, you could leave. And by the way, it doesn't mean that these messages are true. This is just for entertainment purposes only. So use your own discretion. Now on to the reading. We have the Moon. I said that people might think that you're very weird. The Moon card is all about like being it's a card about being mysterious. It's a card about like stuff that is hidden. Okay, the Moon card can also mean talk about insecurities and fears. Okay, maybe people when what they're afraid to tell you is that they might think that you are hiding one side of yourself. Okay, maybe your face or appearance doesn't match what you're thinking. Okay, for example, like you could appear to be someone who's very nice, like you might wear a button-up shirt and dress nicely, no tattoos and clean face, have like this very innocent, dainty look, but your interest or what you're thinking about could equate to like violent video games or horror movies or stuff that doesn't seem to match your appearance, because people would think that, hey, this person might be interested in like baking cookies, right? Is just think about like seeing someone who's very bulky, like Hulk Hogan, like very masculine, and then in his interests are like baking pies or catching butterflies. There's just something in that dynamic where your appearance just does not match your interest or what you think about. Okay, and that kind of give people the creeps. I'm also getting with the moon card that people might think you could be a little bit witchy, or you could be someone that's has a very strange beliefs, or some things that, like, if let's just say most people are Christian, you might be someone that's just like, I don't believe in that. I believe in, oh, I don't know, maybe a religion that you make up for yourself or whatever. It's just that there's this kind of like people are get the creeps around you and they think it's kind of strange. With the Nine of Wands, people think that you could be much of a homebody, or you're somebody that has like trust issues, like maybe you need to get out more, or maybe try something new, because the Nine of Wands is a card about like about being wounded, being hurt many times to the point where you just don't let anybody in, right? You just have trust issues. You're very cautious. You could even be paranoid at times. Maybe people think what they're afraid of to tell you is that you stay in the house too much, or you may not have a lot of may not even have a lot of friends, and that you should just like get out more, have fun. Okay. I think what people are afraid to tell you is that maybe they want to be your friend. Maybe they want to come in and help you. I'm also getting that with the Nine of Wands that you guys might have some bruises. Okay, because I'm seeing this man here. He has a lot of bruises on his body. People are afraid to talk about some sort of markings on you. It's funny because I'm seeing this lady here with markings as well. You might have tattoos. People are afraid to talk about your tattoos. Some of them, they might think your tattoos look really cool, while others think that your tattoos look very like, I'm getting people that are judgmental of tattoos, like I was saying with the moon card, like they would not expect you to have certain tattoos in certain areas of your body. Okay, if it's not tattoos, it could be something else, like your bruises. Like some of you might have had surgery and there's like, a stitch wound somewhere on your face or anywhere in your body, and people are just afraid to say that it might look nasty, it might look terrible, or they're just curious to know if there is somebody in the house that is hurting you. Okay, it doesn't have to be a surgical wound. It could be like a bruise, like you might have had a bad fall, but people are assuming that there's somebody in the house that's probably beating you, and they're afraid to ask you because they don't want to be too nosy. And for the last one, we have the Knight of Discs. People might view you with the Knight of Discs as somebody that is possibly a late bloomer. I think people are afraid to say that you're kind of behind in life, and they think you're a little slow, because the Knight of Pentacles is somebody that moves very slowly, that takes their time and things. A lot of people are afraid to say, hey, can you pick up the pace? Can you do this a little bit faster? Okay, and with the Knight of Disc is that you might have some very weird interests. They find weird interests to them. Okay, there's something that you really really like, but for some reason, like, people just don't understand why you like it so much. Okay, the Knight of Pentacles, as you can see, this guy's super focused, and like I think he's reading a map. Maybe you like to read books, or you have maybe you collect things that are just something most people wouldn't collect, all right? Like, I don't know, maybe comic books or rocks or whatever, and people are afraid to say that that is just a waste of time. Maybe you should be doing something else. Okay, but hey, you do you, pile number one. Don't listen to anything what people say. I am noticing that with this card it says nourishment, health, rest. I did mention about something about late bloomer. People are afraid maybe you could be in the older side, you could be 25, over 25, but for some reason your body or how you look is a lot younger, or people think you rather look unhealthy or you look rather underdeveloped for your age, and they think that you're not eating enough. I'm getting also something with the Nine of Wands and the Knight of Disc. I was talking about the bruises and stuff like that. People might think you're not taking care of yourself well enough, and they're afraid to ask you or tell you that you should be able to improve. You should be able to improve in your life, or have better food option. Focus on other things instead of like focusing on your hobbies and stuff like that. Okay. So now we're going to get into the truth picture and fine tune this message a little bit more. We have green. We have crazy. And we have siren. Green, crazy, and siren. When I saw the green card, I automatically heard the phrase, eat your greens. People may want, what people are afraid to tell you is maybe they want you to eat more vegetables, maybe something about your health. Maybe there's a dieting issue going on, and people may want you to start eating more healthy. Here with the green card. The crazy card, people are afraid to tell you that you might be crazy. I was telling you that with the moon card, that some people might find you to be a bit strange. Pile number one, that's what they're afraid to tell you, but that's their opinion. They think that maybe. I'm also getting with the that's crazy card. I'm hearing the phrase that's crazy with the Knight of Pentacles, because they would have never guessed that you would have such interest in certain things. Like, wow, I didn't know so and so was interested in stuff and like that. That's pretty cool, and that's what I'm getting here with the crazy card. And the siren card, I was thinking more so like an ambulance siren, like what people are afraid to tell you, that they may want to call help for you sometimes, because I did mention something about the Nine of Wands with about you being bruised up or you being closed off. People may want to know if you need any help. When they think of a siren, they may want to help you in a way, but they fear that you may not need it, or they fear that you might react a certain way, be like, hey, I'm fine, I don't really need your help, kind of deal with the siren card. I think people think that you see the way this lady is just holding her head in this I speak highly of myself. It looks like she is, I don't know, she has a lot in her head, and there's just like all these words on her body that are very positive words, like safe, lovable, smart, unique, etc., etc. People might think that you're probably in the house looking like this, maybe a little bit depressed, maybe a little bit sad, and they're afraid to tell you that that you probably need to have like more people around your life. Okay, that's what I'm getting here with the siren card. They just want to help you. Okay, they just want to help you. They're afraid to say that they want to help you in a way. But with that Nine of Wands, it's telling me that you could be someone that's very guarded and be like, I don't need your help. So that is what I have for you. Pile number 1 of what are people afraid to tell you. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Hi, pile number 2. If you chose this watch necklace, let us see, what are people afraid to tell you? Okay, pile number 2. Before we get into our oracle messages that we have for today, before we get into our reading that we have for today, let us look at the oracle messages that we have for today. And we have, I am a dreamer. And this card says, Mother Rose, returning to each other, compassion, humanity. So let's look into our Tower cards for today. We have the Six of Cups. We have the Devil. And we have the Knight of Disc, which equates to the Knight of Pentacles. So, pile number 2. What are people are afraid to tell you? With the Six of Cups, I am thinking that people are afraid to tell you that you are old. And by the way, I forgot to mention that there are certain messages in these readings that might trigger you, okay? And if you can't handle it, you can leave the video. Use your discretion. It doesn't mean it's true. It's just how I feel that what are people afraid to tell you, okay? So, and just this is just a Tower reading. It's for entertainment purposes only, okay? Back to our reading. For the Six of Cups, I think people are afraid to tell you that you are old or you have outgrown something, because the Six of Cups talks about the past, right? It talks about nostalgia. I'm seeing somebody that's sitting in a rocking chair and say, I remember the good old days. Okay, I feel like people, and you don't have to be old, but the thing is, there's something about you, pile number 2, where you refer to the past a lot. Okay, maybe people just want to be like, what else? Okay, that was way back, but what about now? Okay, you could be someone that's young. You don't have to be like in your 60s, 70s, 80s. You could be young, but you're still talking about the high school days. I'm getting somebody that's like they haven't really left their high school. There's a word for that. Somebody that still thinks they're like they still think they're a high school hotshot. Like you were part of the football team, a cheerleading squad, but for some reason now you are 28 years old, okay? You graduated high school 10 years ago, right? No one cares about what happened in the year 2013, right? No one, you had your chance, now it's over, okay? But for some reason, it's just like you can't really leave that mentality, okay? You could be an adult that still lives like a child here with the Six of Cups, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but like, but it is a problem, like if you act that way but you don't have a job, or you're still living in your parents' house but not contributing, or not having your own set of money to buy your own goods, right? But with the Six of Cups, this is telling me that, either you refer to the past a lot, or you're just somebody that has outgrown something, and people are afraid to say that you kind of look like you're in a midlife crisis deal, okay? The next card here is we have the Devil. Now, the Devil is a card about like toxic connections. I'm getting sometimes people might think you're a little bit of a handful. Could be a little bit of a burden sometimes. You slow people down a little bit. I don't like how that came out. I don't want it to be that, but I think what people are afraid to tell you is that it's just like I said before with the Six of Cups. You could be on the older side, or you could be someone that's young. I'm thinking of somebody like, these adults that just still don't know how to use a computer. It's still 2000. It's like 2023 now, and you have these adults that just doesn't know how to use a phone or a computer. They ask for like the simplest things, like how do you turn on this device? How do you download an app? How do you use Google, etc., etc., etc. If you're around that kind of person, you tend to lose a lot of time, okay? I think that with the Devil card, people are afraid to tell you that you could be clingy sometimes. You could be clingy, or you might not be considerate of other people's time. I don't like how that came out, but there is something with the Devil card where you could definitely be a distraction too. What people are afraid to tell you is that you could be a bit of a distraction, and they don't want to get caught up into stuff like that, okay? And the Knight of Disc here is another slow moving energy, which correlates to the Devil. They both correlate to like earth energy, which talks about like stability. But whenever you're dealing with energy, it's the slowest moving energy. I keep saying energy. It's very repetitive, but there's something that's rather like a little bit slow about you, okay? What people are afraid to tell you. But and I feel like with the Knight of Discs, it was more so like you could be a bit of someone that's a bit behind in something. That's what people are afraid to tell you here with that Knight of Disc. Okay, they feel like they just want you to be more present, be more forward. Because when I'm looking at the I Am Dreamer card, she kind of looks like Diana Ross back in the 60s. And we know that Diana Ross is I think she's in her 70s, 80s now. I don't know what age she's in, right? But she was a big deal back in the day. And that's what I'm getting here with you. What people are afraid to tell you is I feel like you were somebody that was very, very popular, really cool, or you have something that used to be very, very popular, but now it's just outdated. Okay, it's just outdated. But with that I am a dreamer card, I think you don't really care. I think that you still live in those times as if it was yesterday, and it doesn't seem to, like, bother you much. Okay. I didn't this reading, this probably one of the harshest readings I've ever did in this YouTube video, but I gotta pull out what I'm saying, because that's what people are afraid to tell you. I'm gonna pull 3 cards out of my truth picture to fine-tune this message a little bit better. We have Star. We have Rebel. And then we have Popular. Star, Rebel, Popular. It's kind of, before I get into these reading, it's kind of funny that you guys chose the watch, because the watch can correlate to the 6 of Cups, which talks about the past. It's like turning back time. All right, that's pretty cool. And let's go back to our card. So the Star card, people, like I said before with the high school example, all right, you were probably somebody that was really, really, that stood out. It doesn't have to be in high school. It doesn't have to be any of the examples. But when I think of a star, it's a card about standing out. Okay, standing out from the crowd. You're attractive. Okay, people see that. And people are afraid to say that to you. I mean, that's a very positive thing. With the Rebel card, despite the fact that you stand out, there's something about you that's very rebellious. Like you would do things that is like an opposition to something that most people would do, right? With the Rebel card, I'm getting more so that people are afraid to tell you that you're very risky. You're very risky. I don't know why I'm very drawn to the Devil card. But you're not afraid to do bad things, or you're not afraid to be flamboyant. All right, you're not afraid to be flamboyant. This card is very colorful here. I'm getting a sense something about your fashion sense too. Okay, your fashion sense. Maybe there is something flamboyant about your fashion. And it could be like, let's just say that, people are wearing, I don't know what's the hottest trend in clothes right now, but let's just say people are wearing skinny jeans. You're the kind that's probably going to be wearing, flare cut jeans or something like that. You wouldn't really seem to care. And people may be afraid to tell you something about your fashion. It could be very good, or it could be something that's very, very bad. Maybe with the 6 of Cups in the past, you're somebody that likes to wear vintage clothing, and that's cool too. All right, maybe you like to go thrift shopping, and that's fine as well. And people are afraid to ask you where you get your clothes from because they've never seen something like that before. That's just an example. Okay, you go against, the standard here with the Rebel card. And the Popular card, what people are afraid to tell you is that you could be a popular topic of discussion. Maybe something about your reputation here. People think you're extremely like I said with the star card, you stand out. Okay, you stand out, and people probably don't want to know that you have a lot of people that watch you. They probably even admire you in a way, and maybe they want to. I guess they aspire to be like you, or they want that kind of confidence that you have. Here, with that devil card, you might have some people that might find you to be desirable. Okay, because the devil card correlates to lust as well. So those are the cards here in your reading pile number 2. And that is pretty much all that I am having here. I think that's all I have for you, pile number 2. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.